forgot to video for a little bit here. We're working on the septic system, the leach field. Scraping away all the topsoil right now, and then we're going to put down some, I think it was coarse sand or some sort of sand. Then there's a special system, or Presby sand, that goes around the tubes. And then we, it gets topped with more layers, and then eventually that topsoil that he's moving to the side. But it's going to be built up pretty high. We were looking at it before, and it was, I think, starting at like 2 feet above the surface, so it's going to be pretty tall. In addition, I got the first coat of the waterproofing done. Went down to where the slab is and a few inches below that. And this is basically where the line you're seeing is where the final grade is eventually going to be, around that side and all along the back of the wall. This is after about 2 loads of coarse sand. So this is not the Presby sand. That's another piece that will go on top of this. This is just to kind of fill up. They call it the receiving layer. It fills up from the what's now the natural grade, I guess you could call it, after the digging. I don't know what it's called. Up to the level where we need to start the Presby. So over here, guy that's helping me do the digging and stuff, he recommended I do this. I think he called it a storyboard, which is kind of funny. It's like every profession has their version of a storyboard. But these are all the different elevations of the different tubes and where they're going to be. And I'll basically, if we want to place something, I'll take my grade stick, I'll bring it up to where it beeps, saying that it's hitting the laser, and then I'll shorten the stick from the bottom. You can already see it's got an indent. I'll shorten it so that the bottom of the stick is at the line that we're trying to do. And I think that'll get it close enough. There's a bit of error is going to be introduced because holding this thing straight up and down level while you're got it up there is it's not going to be perfect. The bubble on it is only visible from the top. It's got an opaque bottom, so you can't see where it is. So it'll be pretty darn close. The inspector's not going to be coming out here with the grade stick, so I'm not too worried about it being like 0.1 inches or less off. And the other thing he's gotten me do, I just remarked these bottom stakes, the white stakes, that one there and this one here, and I'm putting in just basically a rebar stake that is going to be a fixed known distance away from there, and we're going to run a string across, and then we'll be able to constantly replace these while things are getting moved around and not have to redo the very time-consuming and difficult, taking your measurements from your tube marks. Just got my first shipment of wood in. Got the sill plate material in here, a bunch of pressure-treated stuff, and some of the walls for the basement. The sheathing is on back order, but no big deal on that. Working on cutting my first board here. Gonna be doing the sill plates just to kind of get things into position and make sure I got everything square and all that while I'm waiting for him to work on moving all that dirt. So what we got going on here is basically he made a bowl out of this nice but reasonably priced sand, and he's got to get a little bit more. He's got to get a little bit higher, but we are going to be putting the super expensive Presby sand in the bowl, and then putting the pipes which are under that tarp, putting them in and getting it all set up. But that'll be tomorrow for the pipes because he's got to drive pretty far in order to get this stuff, so we don't think we'll be able to get that done today. In the meantime, I'm working on making a jig that'll make the pipes properly spaced. They recommend doing this because when you're backfilling, putting the Presby sand on top, the pipes will wiggle around a lot, and having a jig in there will help keep them steady. To have the slab now, I have a nice flat, clean spot to work on. Now I'm gonna have to start sweeping, but it's nice nonetheless. quite the mishmash of busy things going on. So we just had it's the next day, and it's a little hard to see because of the glare. There you go. We just had the retaining wall poured. So I was, it's just this little section here, so I was able to do it myself. I didn't have to call in any helpers, and now that I've done this is my 4th concrete pour. Now I feel a little confident about what's going on. I know what to expect. I know I don't have to, especially with something this small, like I don't have to rush. I can be relaxed about it. It was great. We did 4 feet-ish, plus or minus 2 feet across the whole thing. I vibrated it, then we did finished, topped it off. I revibrated it, and then we topped it off again to get it back up to the level. So yeah, now I just gotta get these Simpson ties, I think you call them. Yeah, Simpson strong tie. This will be holding the posts up for the stairs. That's why I had to make it straight across the whole way, because I need these. But yeah, I just got to get these in and make sure they don't sink. It's still pretty wet, so but they're big. So I think I want to be on the wetter side before I to put these in, rather than the pins that'll just kind of sink down. So we'll work on that now. That was the right call on that. It's still wet enough I can kind of like jiggle it up and down to get the stuff to consolidate underneath. But I can tell, if this gets harder, it's going to be impossible. So I'm going to get the rest of these in real quick and be done. Layer of Presby sand. Getting all the Envirotech in there now. Okay, well we got that, basically all those pipes in. Got the Presby sand over top of all of it, covered it up so that I could wait to be inspected and all that. So this is pretty much done. On the ends I need to add the piping. That's what I'm going to do today. Basically there's little connections that go between each of the pipes to make a continuous line. And then we got to worry about getting the plumbing into the pipes from up behind that hill where the septic tank is, which I don't think you can see. But yeah, we got to do that trenching. We got to get all of this graded, like get the yard to be the right height, and then ready to put topsoil on it. And so I'm going to work on that piping. Going to work on getting this piping over to the septic tank, and then we're stripping the retaining wall. So I'm going to we'll show you the end of the retaining wall once it's stripped, and then I think I'll just end this video there. Now we're stripping the retaining wall, and you can see things are turning out pretty good. Same kind of like stuff that is on the foundation wall, so it's good as it's gonna get with me doing it. So I'm pretty happy. The one thing kind of note is we didn't use form oil on these boards. They had already been oiled and whatnot from the previous pour, but we didn't put anything fresh on there, and there was a good long time between, plenty of rain and all that. And this is the first time we're getting this, which is wood, still kind of attached to the concrete. So form oil actually does something. Now we know. Okay, we're gonna finish this off and see you in the next video.